Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday conversations. Hare Krishna. आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we have a very special guest, my mother, and also a very dear disciple, Shishya of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. She's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She's my mother. Her Grace Radha Kunda Devi Dasi. Her name given by Srila Prabhupada was Radha Kunda. So she's going to join us all the way from Ahmedabad, Gujarat today. I'm very, very excited to have her with you today. I'm sure many of you know that my father's Gujarati and my mother's from America. So I thought it was a very wonderful opportunity to bring her on today and hear from her about Srila Prabhupada and about how she joined Srila Prabhupada's movement, the Hare Krishna movement in America in 1970, early 70s. And especially because we just celebrated Srila Prabhupada's 125th birth anniversary, Jayanti, his Vyasa Puja. So 125 years ago, in 1896, Srila Prabhupada ji was born in Calcutta. So we thought it would be a great opportunity today कि आप सबके साथ हम शेयर करें, श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के बारे में थोड़ा शेयर करें, क्योंकि उनका 125वां जयंती हमने अभी मनाया. So आज हमारी माता जी हमें ज्वाइन करेंगी अहमदाबाद से. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her on. Please welcome her. Hare Krishna, Mami ji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, we can finally see your hand. Mommy's arm is cracked, so Hare Krishna. Oh, seeing it makes me. Right, so this is my mother, everyone. Ye hamari mata ji hai. She's joining us from Ahmedabad, Iskanahmedabad. And we thought today would be a great opportunity to hear about how she joined Srila Prabhupada's movement, how she became a Shishya of Srila Prabhupada in America. So thank you, Mami ji, for joining. I know it's difficult for you to do these online things. She's 70 years old. So I'm very grateful that she's joining us. And she's going to tell her story, share it with us, all of us. So should we start from just prayers to Srila Prabhupada, Mami ji? Should we say that together?
Ji.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale
Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatare. Sorry, there's a bit of an echo here. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His beloved disciple Radha Kunda Devi ki jai. Only been in India.
His beloved granddaughter Kishore Devi.
Oh. All by your mercy, Mami ji. So let's start right from the beginning. Where were you born? When were you born? About your family, maybe. If you could just share from the beginning.
Sure. I was brought up in America, in Cleveland, Ohio. My parents were strict Christian Catholics, and they were very devoted. Every day they would go to church, which is not very common in America. Even in the summertime, I would go to my grandmother's house, and I would go to church every morning holding her hand, walking to the church down the street. But later on, when I got bigger, I was interested in religion, but I was thinking there must be something more. In the Christian religion, I saw that many people were interested and many people were not. And the Bible was so many stories. And Jesus said so many times, there's much more for me to tell you, but you can't understand it. His his disciples were fishermen. Very simple. So he's saying there's much, much more. And what is it? You won't understand it. So it was never explained. So when the nun was telling us that Jesus said there's much more, I raised my hand. I said, sister, what's the much more?
Right.
What's the much more that Jesus started talking about? And she just said, Chubre, becha.
Don't ask those questions. Yeah.
And then another time when Jesus was saying that you should take drums and you should take cymbals and you should go on the street and sing God's names. So I raised my hand. I said, sister, why don't we do this? This will be really fun. Go on the street with drums and cymbals and sing God's names. This would really be fun. And she just said the same thing. Chupra, becha.
Sit down. Don't ask.
Don't ask. Yeah.
Right.
So I was always thinking there's got to be something more than this, than the Bible. It was 12 years compulsory we studied Bible. And I was always searching, there's got to be something else. And another thing in my childhood, I always was thinking, I have to find something to do in my life that will make me happy. So all the big people I saw, I would ask them, are you happy? When I get big, should I do what you do? My uncle was a doctor.
If you just move into the screen a bit. There you go. Thank you. Right.
My uncle was a doctor, so I asked him, should I be a doctor when I get big? And he said, no, don't be a doctor. Doctor's life is very horrible life. You don't want to be a doctor. My father was a lawyer, and I could see he was not happy. And I could see my friends, everyone around me, nobody was happy. We had everything, America. Everything in America we had, but nobody was happy. And as a child, I thought, I have to find out something to do with my life so I'll be happy. So we were doing our Christmas shopping downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and there were the Hare Krishnas on the street, dancing in the street. And they were all smiling and they were all happy. I said, wow, these people are happy. One devotee was always screaming. One devotee was always screaming, Haribol!
Haribol!
And I thought, wow, these people are really happy. And I told my mom, let's go talk to these people. She said, no. She was busy doing Christmas shopping. Yeah, they could have been from another planet. Who knows? We never saw these kind of people.
They're aliens.
Right? ETs. Because they were so happy. In America, no one dances and sings in the street. It's just unheard of. You're not allowed to be happy. And you can see it, all of their faces. They were all smiling and singing. And I went up. I said, are you singing God's names? You have drums and cymbals. And I told my mom, they're singing God's names. Let's go talk to them. They're singing God's names. This is what Jesus said. They had drums and cymbals, and they were so happy singing God's names. But she wouldn't let me talk to them. She was...
Yeah, understandably. Yeah. Jesus is the only way.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It's a very, very Catholic mentality that there's no other way. Anyways, which she's lovely. Your mother is the most lovely. You got some sukriti. Some sukriti came through your wonderful parents. I remember you telling me how devoted they were to God, and that you always get those blessings because of that. And I remember you saying one time about you would hide the meat because mommy did not like to eat meat, but obviously she was forced to eat it, so she would hide it and then go and throw it down the toilet. But
when I joined ISKCON, I told her that we don't eat meat, and she was so afraid. She said, "You're going to die. If you don't eat meat, you're going to die." So she took me to my uncle, the doctor. He did all these tests, and he said, "I've never seen such a healthy person in years." What do you eat?
Ghee and butter. I remember that. She was like, you eat so much butter and ghee. Like, your arteries are going to get all clogged.
Yeah, she used to
Aw.
say, have a little potato with your butter. It's just there's so much butter.
Right.
Anyway,
So that was your upbringing. You had such a wonderful family, very very spiritual, very religious family. So and you had already seen the devotees. How did you come to join? How did you decide that I'm going to do this by hook or by crook?
my parents wanted me to go to all girls college because we went to all girls high school, all girls college. But when I was in high school, the fashion was mini skirts, all kinds of obscene bikinis. My mother would just cringe when I would walk out of the house in a mini skirt. She said, "Please, put some more clothes on, please. You're not dressed enough." But I didn't care. I didn't listen to her. I guess, what's the word? I didn't care about my mother. I didn't care what she was, she was cringing, and this was the fashion, and I had to be in fashion.
Right.
So then when I was in college, right across the street, they wanted me to all girls college, but my sister was in Columbus, Ohio, where Ohio State University is huge, 50,000 students in this college. So my sister said, "Okay, you go to this college. Otherwise, your mom and dad are going to put you in an all-girls college," where she went, and she said it was horrible.
Oh.
So that summer, right after high school, I joined Ohio State University. And by Krishna's grace, I was praying, I was really praying that if there is a God, then please give me a sign that you're there. I was always knowing there must be a God, but where are you and who are you? I was really, really sincerely praying. And just as I was there praying like that, outside the dormitory was Hare Krishna, the devotees. Again, walking down the street with drums and cymbals and singing.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I went and I met them. I ran down the stairs and I met them, and I was talking to this one boy, and I said, "I just want to be happy. You people look happy, so I also want to be happy." And you know what he said? He said, "The way you're dressed, you're not going to be happy. You got a miniskirt on, and you're going to get so much dirty energy coming to you by wearing a miniskirt. All kinds of lusty people will be looking at your legs, and you're not going to be happy with all that dirty energy around you." He said, "You see the Hare Krishna ladies? They cover their head, their whole body is covered, and no dirty energy comes to them. So if you want to be happy, you come to our temples just across the street, and we'll
show you.
train you up."
Wow.
And sure enough, Prabhupada came to that college, Ohio State University.
Wow.
The king of the hippies, what was his name?
King of the hippies.
He was
I don't
famous.
know.
Allen Ginsberg.
Allen Ginsberg, right.
He came with Srila Prabhupada to Ohio State. Thousands and thousands of people came for his program. And I was sitting in the auditorium very close to Prabhupada. And behind me were some hippies. And as Prabhupada came on the stage, they were saying, "My God, this dude, he's floating. He's not walking, he's floating." And I thought it was because they were on some psychedelic drug. But sure enough, I looked up at him, and he was not walking. He was floating across the stage. He was the seventh wonder of the world, Prabhupada. And so many devotees also noticed. Jamuna was saying that she was walking behind him at the manor, And she said that everybody's footsteps were in the grass except for Prabhupada's. And there was no footsteps where Prabhupada was walking. And she said, she just exclaimed loudly, Prabhupada, there's no footsteps where you're walking. And Prabhupada turned to her and he said, you do not know that your spiritual master is not an ordinary man. He said, in the future, you will realize it. This is in her book, 2 Minutes book. So Srila Prabhupada was not from this world. He was from the spiritual world. Wow. It was very, very special. And just by seeing him, hearing his kirtan, hearing this amazing kirtan, everyone in the whole auditorium, thousands of people, were standing on their chairs, dancing and singing at the top of their lungs. I've never seen a kirtan like this in my life. It was just otherworldly. Prabhupada, this is Prabhupada's potency. Just by seeing him, people become spiritual.
What to speak of his... Go on.
Just like when people saw Lord Chaitanya, they got pure Krishna love, prem. So we can understand Prabhupada is not from this material world. He's something, he's
transcendental.
He's Shri Krishna Prem Murti. He's Krishna Kripa Murti. Krishna Kripa Murti is Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. He's not from this world. He's definitely.
Wow.
Once I was distributing books, and I was distributing Back to Godhead. And on the first page, there was a full face of Prabhupada. And this man opened it and he said, I am a face reader. I'm a professional face reader. And this man is not from this world. He said, this man is from the other world. He said, he cries 24/7. He's crying and crying, but his tears are not material. His tears and crying is from the other world. And he bought 100 of
separation.
I don't know, in Prem, Krishna Prem, something. He said, he's not from this planet. He's not from this planet. And he bought 100 of them, Back to Godhead, 100 of them, to show to all of his students what a real personality from another planet looks like.
Wonderful. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Wow. So you met Srila Prabhupada like very beginning, right? Before you even joined. You actually saw him before you ever joined. That you're saying it's at Ohio State University. What year was that?
That was 1969.
Wow, 1969. So then you hadn't joined yet. What happened after that? How did you join? What was the moment that got you to go into the temple and never leave again?
Right after that, I was thinking, this is something very special. And after I walked outside, a devotee gave me a Back to Godhead. And I took it to my room and I read it and I read it and I read it. I read it maybe 50 times. I didn't eat or sleep. I just read it again and again. I couldn't put it down. I said, this is it. This is the philosophy on life that I've been searching for my whole life. This is it. Prabhupada's lecture was there. And so many other Bhagavatam was there. Shlokas from Bhagavatam. It was
for anyone who doesn't know, the BTG, the Back to Godhead, is just a tiny magazine. So even a tiny magazine can make such a transformation in a person's life. It can completely has so much depth in a tiny magazine. What to speak of all the books that Srila Prabhupada actually wrote? The Bhagavad-gita, he translated entire Bhagavatam. There's volumes and volumes of books that. So I can imagine for someone who's looking, like you're saying, you were looking for more. You knew about the Son of God, but who is God Himself? If you're looking for more answers, I can only imagine what Srila Prabhupada is offering is something absolutely, like you're saying, out of this world. It's it's can't be described, honestly, right? So
Really.
you read the BTG then.
And the next day I joined. I
That's
said,
all
this
you
is it.
needed.
This is it. They're singing and dancing in the
Wow.
street. Jesus said that. And this philosophy is simply the philosophy of love of God, how to love God, how to be happy. And it was a divine mercy of Prabhupada. I mean, just imagine, Prabhupada wrote 80 books in 12 years. Some people, they go their whole life writing one book. But
If
who is
that.
writing, yeah, who is writing 80 books in 12 years? He was speaking the book and then sending it for printing. Can anyone speak a book and then send it for printing? We walked into his room once, and Prabhupada was reading Krishna book. This is all Krishna Leela. He's reading Krishna book, and my husband said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, you're reading your own book." And he was like chuckling. "You're reading your own book." He said, "I cannot write a book like this. I could never write anything so nice as this. This book was written by
Wow.
Krishna. This book is written by Krishna. This book, Prabhupada's books are from the spiritual world." He was sitting next to Krishna. Krishna was dictating, and he was speaking it into the dictaphone and then sending it out for printing. This is how he wrote 80 books in 12 years. This is phenomenal.
Wow.
This is phenomenal. This is Prabhupada, the seventh wonder of the world.
Wow. So someone might ask you, you have so much faith in him, you have so much devotion to your guru. Nowadays, many people, they're like, well, we can just do it ourselves. And very, very difficult for people to understand that you even need a guru, and even more difficult to grow this devotion and love and the seva bhav for guru. What is it that can you share? What is it that allows you to have this love for Srila Prabhupada, for your guru, your conviction?
Just by hearing about Srila Prabhupada, like what he went through. He was in Radha Damodar experiencing the highest love of God, ecstasy. And his spiritual master said, "Go to the West." And in the West, people are suffering. You explain this Vedic knowledge of Bhagavad-gita to these suffering souls. So he was thinking, okay, my Guru Maharaj is giving me this service. I must do it. He translated some books. He went to America on a cargo ship at the age of 70 with a box of books and 40 rupees. America में 40 रुपया ने कुछ काम नहीं है. He had
कुछ नहीं मिलता.
nothing. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So he just by hearing what Srila Prabhupada did for me, because of his tapasya, his faith in his spiritual master, he just followed his orders, went to America, and because of that, I have understood what is the goal of human life. So I could have never, it was not in the Bible. I mean, there were little hints there, but I could have never gotten this realization had Prabhupada not come to America. Had I not gotten his book, had I not had his darshan, who knows what I'd be doing today? I'd be still a meat-eating Christian. Prabhupada has changed the entire planet. You can even see what tapasya. He was one day telling us, he said, when I was on the boat, every moment I thought I was going to vomit. The boat was like a matchbox on the Atlantic Ocean, just bouncing around like a piece of straw. And the Atlantic Ocean is famous for being very, very rough. And he was so sick. He had 2 heart attacks on the boat. If you have 2 heart attacks, you die. You don't rush yourself to a hospital or whatever, but he didn't die. Krishna came and massaged his heart, he said. But then Krishna made the whole Atlantic Ocean still. the whole Atlantic Ocean became completely shanti. And the captain of the ship said, Maharaj, Hamare Saath Hamesha Ana. We never saw this. We never saw the Atlantic Ocean like this ever. Just smooth sail all the way to Boston. We never saw like this. So Krishna made the whole ocean calm just for Prabhupada's help.
Wow.
And like this miracle, we saw so many miracles. We didn't have enough money to pay the rent, and $100 bills would be flying from the sky. These kind of miracles were just...
What is that one about?
You never heard that one?
No.
Malati and Shamsundar, they had no money left. And to pay the rent, they were going to get evicted. So they were going to Mangalarti one morning, and all of a sudden, $100 bills started falling from the sky.
You're joking.
I swear, this is a true story.
Hare Krishna.
Like this, and they just were running and picking up all these $100 bills. Must have been some drug addict upstairs, with this window open. And how Krishna arranges all these things. How Krishna arranged for me to come to Krishna, to Prabhupada.
Wow.
Krishna arranged for me to meet Prabhupada, and Prabhupada has arranged me to meet Krishna. It's a reciprocal thing. Krishna is arranging for thousands of souls all over the world, Russia, China, America. People all over the world are chanting Hare Krishna now. And this is the arrangement of Krishna, bringing everyone to Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada takes us to Krishna. This is a miracle. A Rakshas, mere jaise asur hai, untouchable. In America, everybody eats cows. This is untouchable. Someone would anybody who eats cows and pigs, they're the lowest in America, in the Vedic society. Meat eaters in the Gaudiya Math, they wouldn't touch us with a 10-foot pole.
It's true. No other Vedic society would allow for such people to become, brahmanas, to chant. This is a very special mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Special mercy of Param Acharya. Yes. So you joined. Go on.
I joined. We can see in America that the culture, so-called culture, is like animal life, pashu jivan. Kana, pina, sona. Some people, they don't take a bath. They take a bath once a week. I was telling these people, we take bath 2-3 times a day, especially in the summertime. Oh, I take bath every Saturday, even if I don't need it.
Yeah, it's not a necessity of life. Yeah.
So
yes,
Prabhupada taught us how to be clean, how to be regulated, how to, be polite, how to be kind, how to be merciful, compassionate. He taught us all these wonderful things. And I'm like walking proof of Srila Prabhupada's potency. Such a powerful acharya that went around the world 14 times, gave thousands of lectures, talked to thousands of people, changed millions of people's lives. He was coming in the dreams of, I met this one lady, she said, she opened the Bhagavad-gita, she said, this man, he came to me in a dream and he told me, you chant Hare Krishna and then all your miseries will go away. So just imagine Prabhupada is still preaching, coming to miserable people's dreams and telling them what to do. This is unlimited. We can't imagine who is Srila Prabhupada. Can't imagine.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mamiji. Wow. So after you joined, if you could maybe describe the early days about how you would go out on book distribution. I know you have stories of 10, 12-hour days, and then you came to India. How did you come to India? So a little bit about.
I was in Los Angeles for some time, because Prabhupada was there. So I left the place where I was in Columbus. I got on a bus and I went to Los Angeles because he was always there. I had to be with him again. And we were going to Hollywood. Hollywood Boulevard was where all the tourists go. All the devotees with their children, and we would have prasad distribution and book distribution. And we were in all the Hollywood movies because we were such a interesting thing. You know, how singing and dancing in the street, and prasad and books. So when Prabhupada came there, my husband asked him if he could get married. So the marriage was arranged. I didn't even talk to my husband before I married him. This is a Vedic style. That the marriage is arranged by the mother and the father. This is what they do in India. It's not that the girl goes off in the street and finds herself a boy. The parents, they look around in the community and they find a very nice, cultured boy for their daughter. And if she likes him, then they arrange the marriage. So Srila Prabhupada arranged our marriage. And
Wow.
after the marriage, we went to see Srila Prabhupada, and he blessed us. He gave me a ring. He had a ring on his little finger, and because I didn't have any jewelry on, it was my wedding day, but I had no jewelry. So he took a ring off his little finger, and he passed it over, and he said, "Is it fitting?" And actually it was too big, but I just lied and I said, "Yes, it's fitting."
Anything from your guru.
Right. It was super mercy. And we were going out every day, 12 hours a day. It was the most ecstatic part of my entire life. Just singing and dancing all day long. And speaking to people that are suffering. You know, you want to be happy? Try this mantra. Read this book. And you will learn how to be happy. And this is how the Hare Krishna movement spread like wildfire all over America. Everybody knew. Before, we never heard this word Krishna. Never. I never heard this word Krishna. And the whole world, within 10 years, Hare Krishna was a household word. Very, very fast. It spread very fast all over America. And Prabhupada came in a time, hippie time, where, you know, long hair was the in thing. And he had everybody shave their head. And they did it. And he had all of us hippie, you know, these young girls, you know, sell their miniskirts and their bikinis and put on a sari. The first time they put a sari on me, I went to Mangalarti and I thought, this is too much clothes. and I just took it off in the Mangalarti and put it in the corner. This is just too much. But then I saw it looks actually really beautiful. What the ladies were saying, they said, Radharani wears a sari, and see, it's so beautiful. It makes you look very feminine, and it's not in fashion just yet, but it will become in fashion.
One size fits all. The sari is very beautiful.
Yes, very feminine. And I actually fell in love with this sari. I don't have any other clothes but saris.
Right.
And for the past 50 years, I only wear saris. And for the past 50 years, I sing and dance every single day.
Mission accomplished. Are you happy? Are you happy, Mataji?
Yes, I can't even describe it. It's
Hare
just,
Krishna.
it's called causeless mercy. I was searching for happiness, and Krishna let me find it. I mean, it's just, you know, you chant this mantra and you become happy. The devotees, I saw they were happy. And you serve Krishna, do some seva for the Guru and Krishna, and you become happy. We are Krishna's Ansh. We are part of Krishna. So if Krishna is happy with me because I'm his part and parcel, then I also become happy.
Right.
Does that make sense? That makes sense, right?
Right.
We
So
are
you
parts
were
and parcel.
go on.
Go ahead.
Go on.
We're parts of Krishna. So if we make Krishna happy, then automatically I become happy. And this is what I was searching for since a little girl. That I want to be happy. I want to do something that makes me happy in my life.
Right.
And by Krishna's grace, he led me to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is giving us the road, the path back to Krishna, to the spiritual world.
Jai Ho. And it's amazing because we think that, well, nowadays, there's this understanding that the less I do might be a signifier of how happy I am, meaning comfort signifies happiness. But it's amazing to see that once you joined the temple, you were out working 12-hour days.
Not working, dancing.
Dancing.
We were out dancing and singing and dancing 12 hours a day. I mean, and not just, the one devotee who was leading the kirtan was named Vishnu Jan. Vishnu Jan, he could do kirtan for 24 hours if you ask him. He was from the other world also. Yeah.
Yes, so he's world famous, incredible kirtaniya. If anyone's interested, you can Google Vishnu Jan Swami's kirtans on YouTube, and it's just immediately get transported. Like, right. So there's something to be said that when you are truly happy from within, when you found your true identity and your calling in life, you found your guru, you found Krishna, that then it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You're waking up 4 a.m, you're not having any onion, garlic, tea, coffee. Like, there's so many restrictions and regulations, and yet we can find this deep sense of like lasting joy. You see the devotees
Paramanand, Satya Anand, it's called. Satya Anand, Paramanand. It's not the happiness of this material world. It's from the other world. It's a spiritual happiness, which always increases. The happiness in this world decreases. You see, some people, I might fall in love today with someone, but after some time it becomes hackneyed. And then there's a divorce. And then you fall in love with so-called love with somebody else, and then it becomes sour. But not in spiritual happiness, in spiritual love. It's ever increasing. I mean, that's beyond our brains, but that's how it is.
ઓકે, તો આપણે હવે ગુજરાતીમાં બોલીએ થોડુંક માતાજી. તમે પછી લોસ એન્જલિસ થી પછી તમે ગુજરાતમાં કેવી રીતે આવી ગયા?
This Gujarati bow misty, that's Bengali. Bow sundar, sweet bhasha. Gujarati love be sweet. Gujarati khana be sweet. It's very Krishna Bhagwan be Gujarati.
Gujarati hata Krishna Bhagwan. Yes.
Krishna Bhagwan Gujarati che.
Yes. So how did you end up from Los Angeles all the way to Gujarat?
Yes, Prabhupada told us that please, you go to Gujarat and preach, because my husband was Gujarati, and he said you can go and open a center and help the Gujarat state. People are suffering there, so we can go and help them. And we were collecting in the street. Selling books. We were selling some books and collecting so we could give a gift to Prabhupada. We sold books and got a little bit of profit, and we got a $1,000 check. $1,000, 108 check we get to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada sent that to the BBT, and he wrote a letter that when I go to Gujarat to open up centers, I will use this money. He didn't say when Jashamati Nandan goes to Gujarat to preach, he will use the money. He said, when I go to Gujarat and preach and open centers, I will use this money. So Prabhuji, your father, Prabhuji, he said, my goodness, we thought that we were opening all these centers, but it was actually Prabhupada doing it all. It was Prabhupada opening the centers, and we were just like little, instruments.
Of course.
I actually had a dream once that in Vrindavan, I had a book table, and Prabhupada in my dream was at the book table distributing books like anything. And he was just yelling to me, bring more books, bring more prasad. I was running back and forth, and he was distributing all my books. So this to me is proof that I'm not distributing books. Prabhupada is distributing them. This is
right.
Some kind of amazing energy that's happening. I was running. He was giving prasad in a book. And I was just running back and forth.
For anyone interested, Mamiji has been giving out books since 1970. So that's her really powerful seva. She was well known as a very very powerful book distributor. So her realization is very relevant that actually, we are not the doers. It is all our Guru, right. By the mercy of Guru, right. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada.
We are 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. What can we do? We're so tiny. The soul is so tiny. We can simply desire, and then Krishna and Prabhupada will do the rest, facilitate everything. We have a desire to preach, distribute books. Krishna will do the rest. Krishna is the karta. The karta is who? The karta is Krishna. We simply desire, I want to do this for you, Krishna. Krishna will see our sincere desire, just like Prabhuji. He wanted to have a temple in Ahmedabad. He had this desire, and Krishna did it.
Right.
So we just have to.
Amazing. Right. So if you wanted to just describe what was it like for you, you're born and raised in America, coming to India for the first time, coming to Gujarat. Did you even know a word of Gujarati? Didn't know a word of Hindi. How was it? Had no money. I remember hearing some incredible stories about how you started off in Ahmedabad and how it all began. If you wanted to share some stories, yes. And when Srila Prabhupada came to Ahmedabad finally.
Yes. We were in Bombay, and Prabhupada kept saying, go to Gujarat. And we didn't want to leave because he was there. Finally, after he left Bombay, we asked the temple president for some Lakshmi so we could go. He gave us 250 rupees. And I was saying, 250 rupees? He said, Prabhupada had 40 rupees. We have 250.
Haribol. You're lucky. Yes.
So we got on a train with no ticket. We got on a train to Ahmedabad with no ticket in the general bogie. And we got a place in Dadiapur as some life member had a go down. When it was factory go downs, we stayed there for free. And we hired a bicycle, 1 rupee for a whole day. We got a bicycle, 1 rupee every day for the whole day. And no one knew it was Iskan or who we were. But by Krishna's grace and by my husband's sincere desire, to start a center here, it finally happened. And it just, when I think of it, I just saw today, when we got the land where the temple is, all around of us was farms. And I was saying, Prabhuji, who's going to come here? Just cows will come for darshan. There's only farms everywhere. And I saw from one life member's house, the whole place is it's just completely built up with flats and shops, and it's just a miracle after 25 years.
For anyone who doesn't know, Iskanahmedabad right now is in one of the most prominent areas in all of Ahmedabad city. And Ahmedabad is a huge metropolitan city. And I remember going to school, walking through the fields, and there was nothing around there. And the only, when the temple opened, you could see it from miles away because it was the only building for miles and miles. And now, if you go to, you can't, there's not an inch that's not built up with huge buildings. And so this is Krishna, this is Srila Prabhupada's amazing miracle. And he just attracts, it's become the center of, the high life of Ahmedabad.
It's the most posh area in Ahmedabad.
Yes.
And
right.
many people are coming. Hundreds of people are coming every day for darshan. It's just so wonderful. So many people are chanting. We had Janmashtami, so many people were there. So this is the mercy and power of Krishna and Guru. So if I want to go to Krishna or go to God, I have to have someone who is God's friend. If I want to go see the Prime Minister, I want to see the Prime Minister. If I can meet the friend of the Prime Minister, the friend of the Prime Minister can take me to the Prime Minister. Right?
Right.
The friend can help me meet the Prime Minister. So the Guru is very close friend of God. So if I want to go to God, then the Guru can take me there. Otherwise, how will you go? How will you go to God? Even in Bible, they explain this concept that Jesus is the way. Jesus is the way to God. And Jesus, we follow all the rules and all the concepts that Jesus taught. We follow all of these. But the much more that he was speaking of, that's also there.
Right. So it nowadays it gets a little bit lost, the idea that we need somebody to help us, this idea of gratitude and loyalty. It seems that many people are just, we don't want to accept that we need somebody's help. If God is who he is, why can't we just reach him by ourselves? So this, it really resonates deeply with me, that the idea that Guru, it's only through the mercy of Guru, it's only through the revelation within the heart of the Adi Guru, Sri Krishna himself, can we even fathom, like you were saying, we are such tiny little souls that if we want anything to be revealed, any of this knowledge to be revealed, it is only through grace, it is only through mercy. So with that in mind, that was, when did you reach Ahmedabad? What year was that?
That was in 76.
76.
76, right.
That you got to Iskan Ahmedabad. I mean, that got to Ahmedabad. Mm-hmm. Right. And then, obviously, I was born in 84, so I know the history after that. But then what happened? Baroda, do you remember when Iskan Baroda started? Because then it spread like wildfire. I remember you going out on book distribution with all the women. And then there was a Sankirtan, a Brahmachari Sankirtan party, a men's party, a women's party, and all the buses used to go out all over Gujarat again and again, just giving out books, giving out prasad.
And Kishori was also coming when she was in the womb. She was coming, and after when she was growing up, she used to, at maybe age 3, she would give the book. Bahut saris chopri. Tame juo na mafat lewana paisa.
Juo na mafat lewana paisa. Mummy's learned a few lines of Gujarati over the years.
No, this is what you used to say. This is what you were saying. When you were like 3 years old, you would come on the bus and you were helping us distribute. This is what you were saying. Juana mafat, lewana paisa.
I remember saying, velote pelo. Velote pelo. We had learned all these lines and giving out books, and they were just shocked. And we'd go, when we'd go to buy flowers for the deities or buy the bhoga, people were completely shocked out of their brains to see a white lady in sari and tilak and kumkum and But the beauty of Gujaratis, they're so pious, so gentle. They love, whether they were Muslim or Hindu, or they gave with their open heart, open minds, and just gave donations as much as possible.
Really. Even the Muslims were donating. The Muslims were donating.
Yes.
Yes, they're very special people.
And now there are at least, oh goodness, how many temples in Gujarat? Do you know how many? Rajkot, Surat, Baroda,
Vidyanagar.
Vidyanagar. Oh my God, there's so many more. There's farm communities,
Surendranagar. Porbandar. Yeah, all over.
So Anandvanathi. There's so many temples now, and hundreds and thousands of devotees who now obviously go out on books and are carrying on Srila Prabhupada's mood and mission. Right. So from there, you also moved to Vrindavan. That's where you're on and off. You live there now, and all your children went to Vrindavan Gurukul. Your boys, the boys all went to Vrindavan Gurukul. Srila Prabhupada's instruction for Gurukul. Do you have anything to say about how to educate children? Iskan Bharuch is coming up soon. Sorry, go on.
He was saying that these outside schools are like slaughterhouses. They're like slaughterhouses. Whatever spiritual ambitions the children have, when they go to these outside schools, this spiritual ambition becomes slaughtered. And I saw with my own children, they went to Gurukul and they had, a lot of spiritual desires. But once they went to the schools here, they started taking drugs, learning drugs, doing, all kinds of strange things they got from the bad association. Means like a slaughterhouse. Prabhupada said it so many times, but we didn't hear it, and we sent them to a slaughterhouse. And you see, even today, it's even worse. This was like 20 years ago, and someone was saying that it's a big problem in the schools in India today, the drugs situation. The children, the parents don't know, but it's a serious problem.
Yeah. It's a big risk. Because the obviously we have to educate the children. It's not like we can. So he wanted ideally for there to be gurukuls, but obviously that was also, there was a lot of problems with the gurukul system. They were not trained. The teachers were not trained. So nowadays many devotees either homeschool their children, or if you're lucky like us, you have a Hindu Krishna-based school. Here's many schools in England. The Avanti schools. Also in India, they're opening up lots of, even in Ahmedabad, I hear they're opening up their own Gurukul and teaching the children. So that we have to educate. We have to. It wasn't about not being educated with the material science, but having both.
Yes, like on a train, there's two tracks, but we have to protect our children from bad association. That's the main thing. I've seen the children that are homeschooled. They're taking the exam online. That option was not there years ago. You can actually study online. Then you don't have to go and have this bad association in the schools. It's very, very dangerous.
I forgot to ask about giving birth in Vrindavan. You made sure all 7 of your children. Sundari was born in Detroit. Where was Sundari born?
Detroit.
My eldest sister, she was born in Detroit. But the rest of your 7 children, Mamiji had 7 children born in Sri Vrindavan Dham. If you could share with us the early days when you were in Vrindavan. I remember hearing some wild stories about the Goshala and how we were all born there. Describe.
The Vrindavan was a very, very small village in those days. There were cobras. There were snakes. You could not walk without a flashlight because you might get bit by a snake. And the dacoits were, it was very common. You would hear gunshots, and in the morning after Mangalarti, we would hear the news that so-and-so got shot, so-and-so got robbed. You know, one of my god sisters, the dacoits came and gassed her room. They put gas, and they covered their mouths. And they took everything out of her room except for her and her husband, even the fans, because they were gassed and they slept deep sleep. So this was a major problem. It was a small village with no police force, and it was scary.
Yeah.
But still we stayed there, and Krishna protected us. Nobody got shot, nobody got hurt, nobody got bit by a snake, although we saw, cobras all the time. When I think of it, I can't believe that Krishna took such good care of us. Finally we got some tantra mantra wala, and he had a big bag, and he was chanting this mantra with a stick, and all of these cobras went into his bag. From all the
my goodness.
I was thinking, these are material mantras for snakes. What is this Maha mantra? This is just a material mantra, but so powerful. All these snakes from all the rooms just came out and went into his bag. So how much power there is in the Maha mantra? Actually, Lord Chaitanya came with a message, and Prabhupada came. It was the topmost secret. The topmost secret that Krishna did not even reveal to his best friend, Uddhav. The topmost secret that Sukadeva Goswami didn't even know. It's not in the Bhagavatam. This topmost secret, what is it? Just by chanting this Maha Mantra, you will get love for Krishna. This is the topmost secret.
Right. Haribo! She's coming. Hare Krishna. She's all dirty. Hare Krishna, Grandma.
Remati, Hare Krishna.
Look, it's Grandma.
Hare Krishna, Remati.
Sorry, she's come through. Do you want to go give that to Baba? Go give it to Baba. Look. Yay. Baba nappied it. Good girl. Sorry about that. Okay. Right.
The grandmother has so much love for the grandchildren.
Oh, Krishna. I'm so sorry.
This is another point, that Prabhupada is the grandfather of all the devotees. He's the Shiksha Guru for the next 10,000 years. And he will give you more love and more mercy than me. Because the grandfather is much more loving to the grandchildren than to the daughter. In Los Angeles, in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada would give cookies to all the children. He never gave us cookies. My god sister put her hand out, and he said no. She put her hand out for a cookie. He said no. So this is the natural psychology.
Yeah.
Natural psychology of the grand.
Can you take her out?
The grandfather is so much more merciful.
Go to Baba.
Than the father.
Haribo! Everybody's on the stage today. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Oh, we're so indebted, Mummy. I remember you telling me I was born in a room where also a goat was giving birth because there was no hospitals in Vrindavan. You were like, there was rats all over the room, and just the Mahila ashram, Mahila hospital in Vrindavan. It's in the middle of Loy Bazaar. There's a tiny little room. So the tapasya that you've done, I always, if I think of a happy person in my life, it's you. Mummy, you're always this is how she is all the time. She's not just putting on a show. She's like this all the time. And she has more energy than anyone I know, more than me. I'm half her age. And I know for a fact that it's all because of your love for your guru, and the tapasya that you do, which so naturally, because you've heard the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and you follow them to the T. You follow it so beautifully, and it's directly correlated to how happy and how energetic you are. So I'll always remember this one time I got into an accident, a really bad accident, and I broke my knee. I mean, I tore my ligaments. Do you remember what you told me, Mommy, when I called you? You don't remember. I said, "Oh, Mommy, I got into an accident. I was on a motorbike with Balram, and we slid and almost went off the cliff." And Mommy, you said, "Oh, you said, Kishore, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Krishna saved you."
You could have gone off the cliff.
Yeah, you could have died. You're so fortunate, Kishore. And I remember when I was in that state, I didn't want to hear that. I could not understand what you meant. I was like, there's no way I'm lucky. I've just got this horrible accident and my knee was all broken and banged up. And it took me many years to realize that what you meant. But immediately,
Sorry,
no. In the moment, of course, I knew, where you were coming from. But this is who you are, Mommy. It's a matter of perspective, that anytime anything happens in life, to look at it as a blessing.
Yes, as mercy. Karuna. It's not corona, it's karuna. Just see, this coronavirus, people are at home and they're doing kirtan and they're getting time for spiritual life. They're getting time for God.
Some people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you always have the choice. I could have just looked at it like, oh, I'm so unfortunate. Oh, like this horrible thing has happened to me. But as soon as you speak to somebody who has this devotional perspective, the mercy of the Guru, when you look at life through those lens, you see the reality. This Shastra Chakshu is only available through association. With your association, I'm able to get a glimpse of it, and you get it through your Guru, and so on. It gets passed down. Every time I call my mother and I ask her, "How are you?" What do you say, Mommy?
Yeah, I'm doing much better than I deserve. I should be dead by now.
Every single time. I'm like, it gets a bit... Every single time, Mommy says, "I'm doing much better than I deserve, Kishore." So, if nothing else from today, if you don't remember anything else... Okay, go on. Sorry.
I'll tell you one story, one short story. In Bombay, I had chronic malaria. Chronic. There was no cure for malaria. And
in back in the day, this is
way back, yeah. This
74,
is like
75.
74, 75. And I was always getting malaria. There were so many mosquitoes in Bombay. So one time I had a fever of 105 and Srila Prabhupada was coming to Bombay. And my friend came and she said, "Let's go, we're going to the airport to see Prabhupada." And I said, "Look, I have a fever of 105 and I just can't even stand up. I can't even sit up." And she says, "Oh, Prabhupada said when you have a fever of 105, then you die." I said, "Okay." I was delirious. We were so ignorant and we were just young kids. I said, "Okay, I'm going to die now. So you take my daughter." Sundari was just a baby, 9 months. I said, "I'm going to die now. So you take Sundari and make sure when she gets big, she goes to college." And no, she's not college. When she gets big, you send her to Gurukul. And she said, yes, of course. And she took off with Sundari, my daughter. And I was laying in the bed praying to Prabhupada. I'm going to die any moment now. And I've given you my whole life. And I wish I could come and tell you that I'm leaving the body now. I'm going to leave any moment now. And I wish you knew. And I wish I could see you before I die. And just as I was praying this, some devotee came and said, Mataji, Prabhupada's calling you. He's in his room and he's calling you. And just by hearing that, my fever broke and I jumped up and I ran to Prabhupada's room. And as they were all coming down, and they said, no. I said, Prabhupada's calling you? No, Prabhupada was just asking where you were. Prabhupada saw your daughter and he was just inquiring where you were. He wasn't calling you. So from that, I understood Prabhupada was 2-3 buildings away, but he could hear my prayers. He could hear my calling to him, even though he was so far away. And I understood from this that Srila Prabhupada has not left this planet. He's here, and he can hear our prayers, even if he's on another planet. He can hear our sincere prayers from our heart. If you have any problems, if you have anything in your life that's troubling, you can pray to Prabhupada and he will definitely help you, especially because your grandchildren, your poti pota, his grandchildren, the grandchildren, he would definitely help you. It's no doubt. This is just such a powerful thing that I realized from this. And one reporter asked Prabhupada, what will happen after you after you die? What will happen to your ISKCON? After you die? And Prabhupada said, I will never die. I will never die. And those who are following my word, they will live with me eternally.
Right.
I will never die, he said. He's always there for us. He's always there. And I've seen it in my life so many times. I prayed to him and I've got an answer. It's reciprocal. He's there and he's loving you. He's loving us more than we can ever imagine. This is real love. Real love.
Wonderful. Yes, it is. I can... just by your association, Mamiji, by hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures every single day of my life, because you were always playing the tapes and always playing his kirtans and his bhajans, by your grace, we have a taste for his voice, for hearing him chant, for hearing him speak. And if you get nothing else out of today's talk, that maybe you can... Oh, she's putting it on. You want to show everybody? Show everybody his secret. आप सबको बताइएगा. आप थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलिए, मम्मी जी.
This Prabhupada's voice is from the spiritual world. Prabhupada ji ki hawaj. Divya dam se aate hai. His voice is mixed with the pollen of the lotus feet of the Lord. 1967. This one lecture, it's described in Bhagavatam that the pure devotee's voice sounds like an ordinary voice, but because it's mixed with the pollen of the lotus feet of the Lord, it can imbibe bhakti even in the heart of a demon. So that's why I play it all the time, because I want this demon's heart to get bhakti.
Prabhupada.
1967.
A very rich man. And very much sensual. He kept one prostitute.
1969.
Wow. Okay, so I think we're showing this little lecture box. Yeah, if you don't have one already, it's irreplaceable. You can hear it on YouTube, but this is just on the go. You can have it with you anytime. Krishna.
1967. Punch it in. This is so easy. You don't have to open your computer. You can just open this up and immediately hear Prabhupada's lectures, bhajans. I play it 24/7. It's in the kitchen. It just takes out all the bad energy. It's spiritual sound.
Wonderful.
And it takes out all the bad energy.
आप थोड़ा हिंदी में बोल दीजिएगा.
आपको आनंद चाहिए, आपको हैप्पीनेस चाहिए. तो प्रभुपाद की चरण को याद करना चाहिए. प्रभुपाद का पुस्तक चोपड़ी वांचो.
गुजराती में.
हिंदी प्रभुपाद की पुस्तक पढ़िए. ये पुस्तक से मेरे जीवन पर एकदम बच गया. मैं नरक जाने वाले था. बिल्कुल नरक जाने वाले. न्यूयॉर्क नरक. एंड प्रभुपाद जी है ना, बचा दिए मेरे को, मेरे जीवन. Can you hear this?
Yep, we can hear it.
This is from the spiritual world, the sound vibration.
So I grew up. Wow.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's the most beautiful sound. But many people, I've also heard many people say that they can't hear it. It makes them too emotional. Makes them too
because he's singing, it claims they got this. I never heard anybody sing with very real Krishna playing, the real deal. When you hear him sing, this is the real deal from the spiritual world. From his heart.
Oh, you make me cry. I can't hear you. You gotta turn it down.
These tears are not tears of pain. They're tears of ecstasy that I never knew when I was a child. I never saw. So many times Prabhupada was on the Asasan and he would be crying and crying in ecstasy. And everybody would also start crying. Everybody in the whole room would be crying. So this is the contagion of spiritual ecstasy. It's not from this world. It's from the other world.
Yeah. That's why it's so difficult to listen to, actually. Jai Srila Prabhupada. If anyone... Sorry, I've got such a bad cold. What should people do, Mummy? Where should they start?
You can start with it's just a small book of Srila Prabhupada's books. They are from the spiritual world. They're dynamite. They're time bombs. They're just waiting for you to open. This is a very nice book we distribute in Gujarat. Rasaraj Krishna. Very powerful.
Rasaraj Shri Krishna. Thank you, Purvi Sharma ji. She's saying this is the first time she ever watched a live video of someone. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Gopal Bhardwaj ji. He is a universal guru. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mummy ji.
My pleasure.
She has sacrificed a lot. That is, but in return for the sacrifice, you can tell, you can see that she has received a lot. So when we want to receive, when you want to turn it a tiny bit down, there's nothing I can say that's more important than Srila Prabhupada. But when you sacrifice a lot, you get a lot. So we must sacrifice something. We must sacrifice something. She's living proof that it's worth the sacrifice.
Really? You can start with Bhagavad-gita. Bhagavad-gita
हिंदी में बोलो.
Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad-gita है ना, पूरी दुनिया बदल दिया. There's so many Bhagavad-gitas, but this Bhagavad-gita is in 80 languages. There's so much, इतना demand है, तो हर एक भाषा में translation है. Chinese, Russian, German, French, Italian. इतना popular Bhagavad-gita, तो पूरी दुनिया पढ़ता है, पूरी दुनिया. And पूरी दुनिया बदल गया. So to start with, you get a Bhagavad-gita or any small books from Prabhupada, start reading, पढ़ना चाहिए, and एक माला लीजिए, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र जपिए, महामंत्र जपिए.
Very simple process.
Yuga Dharma. This is the Yuga Dharma. Hari Naam eva kevalam. Hari Naam से जीवन उद्धार है.
उद्धार.
Try it.
जीवन उद्धार हो जाएगा, बिल्कुल. उद्धार. Mummy's been living in India for 50 years and she understands Bengali and Gujarati and speaks a little bit of Hindi. I mean, pretty much most Hindi. she can speak it. Thank you, Jess Singh, watching from Auckland, New Zealand, where there's been about 250, 300 people watching. We're very, very grateful. Please share this if you can, if you've found that something is useful here, because we want to share the love of Srila Prabhupada. Like Mommy was saying, you can only get love by association with love, right? You were saying that when you associate with devotees, then you can get this contagious. You can get love from someone who has that love. So if you want to get love for Srila Prabhupada, then you have to associate with his loving disciples, hear from them, because then we get the mercy of both the disciple and Srila Prabhupada himself. It's his 125th birthday, and if you really want to tap into his mercy, then like Mummy Ji is saying, you pick up your Japamala and pick up the Bhagavad-gita and give it to somebody. Give it to someone else. What does Sri Krishna say in the Bhagavad-gita, Mummy? About someone who gives Krishna to other people.
Yes.
He's the most
dear. He is the most dear, and in the future, no one will be more dear than that person who spreads this message of Bhagavad-gita. So you give this message out, and you become very dear to Krishna. And Krishna will give you so much mercy. Just like Rukmini. Rukmini never saw Krishna. She just heard about Krishna. The Narada Muni would come to the palace, and Narada Muni would say, Krishna is so handsome. Krishna is so strong. He killed this demon. He did this. He did that. Just by hearing about Krishna, Rukmini said, I'm not going to marry anyone but Krishna.
Right. Sound vibration.
By hearing about Prabhupada, maybe you haven't seen Prabhupada, but by hearing about him, how great he is, how he's changed the whole planet. Millions of people's lives have been changed. Just by hearing about Prabhupada, you will fall in love with Prabhupada.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you, Bird Spencer ji. Aapka naam to nahi pata, lekin thank you very much for this beautiful comment. He spread the glories of everyone, the entire Vedic Sanatan Dharma. He made it popular in the whole world by his grace. And we're all enjoying the benefit. So it's time to give something back. Time to give something back for this huge gift. This unlimited, unimaginable, priceless gift that we got from him. Go on.
It's not possible to repay him, but we will try.
Right. I'm going to just, if anyone has any last question, you can ask. Otherwise, we're going to sign off because it's already been a little while. Okay. Thank you so much, Mummy Ji. Please bless us all. Please bless us all with a taste and some devotion to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada.
I can pray to Prabhupada for you. I cannot give any blessings. I don't even know what a blessing is. But I can pray to Prabhupada for you. Prabhupada is an ocean of blessings. Whatever you want, you go to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. You'll definitely get the results.
Wonderful. No, it is only through your mercy that we'll be able to give something back and serve. You gave 50 years of your life. If we want to be able to give something, we need your blessings. So,
but I'm just telling you, you really want blessing, you go to Srila Prabhupada. He's an ocean of blessings. And especially the grandfather. He will definitely give you whatever you need.
So it's a cycle. We come to you, you send us to Prabhupada. We come to you. Yes.
I'm just giving the secret. I'm giving the secret that the grandfather will be much more merciful to you than he is to me. Right?
Oh, right. Bilkul. Bilkul Tika. I'm gonna sign off here. If anyone wants to get in touch with Mataji, she's always in Sri Vrindavan Dham. You'll always find her in Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi giving out books. Or sometimes she's in Iskanahmedabad like she is right now. So, very warm thank you to you all. Please take this opportunity of satsang and pick up one of Srila Prabhupada's books today.
Right.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Ki jai, 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 jai.
Shri Radha Kunda Mata ji ki jai ho.
No jai, no jai, no jai.
Jai ho, jai ho.
Kishore